Hello there, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Like our new studio, isn't it so awesome? We are we're live in with the backyard of a lake. Actually, it kind of looks like we're on a boat, maybe.
Yeah. If I do this,
give them a little tour of like the surroundings, maybe that we're not actually on a boat. We just have a cool lake in the background.
Yes, that is a beautiful lake in the background. Any of you who follow us on social media may have picked up on the fact that we are not in Wisconsin tonight on this Wednesday for our 96th show.
96 shows. That's
No, we are not in Wisconsin because May 20th is our anniversary, and
was our anniversary,
and we celebrated 22 years, and we escaped a little bit, didn't we?
We did, and we
Looks
only
like you guys are finding us.
We
Yay!
only go to states that start with W, so it's just how we roll. So we are in the great state of Washington right now. We had a speaking engagement in Seattle for National Speakers Association chapter. They had seen us in Las Vegas last year at Caesar's Palace, and they wanted us to do our thing with them. And so that was a wonderful chance to
sneak
away and make the most of it. So we spent a day or two there, and then kind of retreated out west of Olympia, I guess. It was our first time in Olympia.
Yeah, seeing the great capital is beautiful. It was a really neat opportunity to see that, wasn't it?
Now we're just kind of in a remote location on a random lake, and we've just spent a couple days here chilling and relaxing. So thank you, Lisa, for the happy anniversary wishes.
And it looks like you guys are seeing us okay, but
hey,
hello,
Rich, how's
Rich.
it going?
Hello.
Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
Where are you?
So, yes. Good question.
So we are in Washington, the state of Washington, and we're west of Olympia.
Let me give you a little
real small
peek
town
at this beautiful lake.
Hello, Victoria.
We are escaping for a few days. Jenna's hanging with the kids back at home. And I have to tell you, just like any good opportunity for an escape, Adultitis was on our heels, you guys.
Yes.
On our heels. Okay. So just everything worked out fine. So that's the good way to start it out by saying, but we're literally boarding the plane in Milwaukee. And as we're boarding the plane, this beeper goes off, and it basically says, it does look like northern Wisconsin, doesn't it? That our flight was canceled, the second leg of our flight, so we could not get on the plane. And then that started an interesting day.
Yes.
From there, didn't it?
Yeah, our bags took a different flight to Seattle, and they were lost, I guess you could say. And,
misplaced, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So it was a little stressful. We had one bag delivered at 1:30 in the morning, and we had to get up at about 5 o'clock in the morning to get our second bag, drive back to the airport, get it, and otherwise we'd be pretty much going to our gig in sweatpants, pretty much. And when you're speaking to your peers, that's not a great look of, we were so prepared. Fortunately, though, it all worked out. And as true professionals, no one was the wiser. We came in fully caffeinated, fully dressed in our attire that we had planned, and it worked out good.
Yes.
And then today we got word that our hot water heater, I guess it's just water heater. It's like kind of redundant to say hot water heater. Our cold water heater died. And so fortunately, Jenna was able to manage the majority of that. So that was a blessing. Some other weird things came up, but that's life, right?
It's just how it goes. And we look back on each thing and like, it could have gotten worse, right? You guys know that we could have not gotten our bags. We could have had a huge flood in our basement from the water heater. None of those things happen, and it's all working out. So you just take one thing at a time. But yeah, we're happy to be here. Yes, Stephen, we are in your beautiful state. You sure picked a beautiful place to live, I have to tell you. It happens to be one of our favorite places.
Yes, on the other side of the equation. So the what does this make possible thing. So we had a rough day with the beginning of the start of things with our bags being lost. But as we were in Seattle, kind of mulling around in the public market, Pike Place Market, we overheard someone at a random store say they were in town for Sebastian Maniscalco, who is one of our favorite comedians. And we had the moment where we're like, we should check to see if there are any tickets available. I didn't even know he was here. And 15 minutes later, we had an amazing deal on tickets. We were in like the, I think, 8th row. And I have not laughed that hard in a long time. I'll say that.
Gosh.
It was a blast. And it was one of those things of like, after the day and a half we had, we're like, we need to do this. And it was amazing. So,
and it just goes to show you, like, the spontaneity of that was such a gift. I mean, who knew that? I mean, we were probably like, 5 hours from the show when we bought the tickets.
mm-hmm.
Oh, we got a super sweet deal because the person selling the tickets wanted to get rid of them.
Yep.
And we were happy to be,
It's a win-win, right?
I know. So it was one of those like, wow, jump on that when you get an opportunity.
We did not see the gum wall this time, Stephen, but we have seen it in the past. We took our kids to it last time we were here.
Mm-hmm.
So this show we're doing a kind of free flow Ask Us Anything. Who was the comedian, Jane? It was Sebastian Maniscalco. He's one of the top comedians this day. He's originally from Chicago. He's a blast. You should check him out. What I was going to say, I saw Doreen was here and she asked a question that we're going to get to in a little bit, but I wanted to give a little teaser on that because one of the things that Kim and I have, she had asked a question about advice for newlyweds. And I think we'll save that one because that's a really good question.
Okay. Till the end,
but
you mean?
Yes, till
Okay.
the
Not
end.
for another show.
No, but I did want to say something about that Kim and I have a sort of I don't know if it's a policy or a habit, or we typically don't buy Christmas presents for each other.
Mm-hmm.
We just never, I think it started when we were younger. We didn't have a lot of money, and so we just didn't do that, and we never kind of picked it up. But what we do is we then kind of do spontaneous sort of splurges. So getting these tickets when the opportunity arose, like, made sense. And so it was sort of like a Christmas present, anniversary. We don't do anniversary present. Like, we don't really do any of that stuff, which sounds like totally adultitis. But what it does, it allows opportunity to have our budget used for more spontaneous things versus, oh man, there's a thing coming up and I have to hurry up and get something for Kim that means something, but just that kind of thing. So it's kind of a not a rule, I guess, that we have.
And
this
maybe the
shout.
rule, like, maybe we don't like being forced to be thoughtful on
Don't tell me what to do, calendar.
So just like you, Jennifer, we love experiences, and sometimes you can't plan those, especially the last couple of years of getting tickets or going and doing something. So even like when the opportunity arose for us to speak here in Washington State, it's like we knew we could do it because we kind of leave a little extra money in our budget for that kind of stuff, you know? So,
So let's see. I've got some questions here from folks. Let me see.
Folks, that's very
folks.
Midwestern.
Yes, folks. Okay. Jeff Jones asked, where does Jason get those baller button-down shirts with the pattern cuffs? And thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. They are from Luciano Visconti. I got my first one at a menswear store owned by a good friend when I bought a suit there. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. It was just so kind of
comfortable
and artsy and nice. And so that's most of the shirts I have are from them. So
Luciano
Visconti.
Can you spell it that?
Luciano, Luciano. Giano. Visconti is Visconti. And the weird thing, like that, I love their company, but some of the shirts are way too busy, and I hate the pattern. So it's a really very specific
selective
shirts I'm looking for that are kind of my style. But in general, there you go. Thanks, Jenna.
Jenna's on it.
She found it.
Luciano Vidal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's Jeff. Rachel wants to know, can Kim show us her favorite Wonder Hunt photo from your trip so far? How did you even know that she was taking Wonder Hunt photos? That's the question, right? So you want to talk a little bit about that, Kim, before I pull this up?
Yes. The first full day we were here at this little rental on the lake, I did put some earbuds in with some of my favorite tunes, and I basically wonder hunted this property. And this is a nice, we tend to look for rentals with whimsy. It's just, when we don't get that, it is a disappointment.
Yep.
We had that experience in Key West, didn't we? Where we're
Yep.
like, everything's so white. So I had fun looking around. The person who owns this house has done a lot with that. And so Jason's got one pulled up. I kind of made it into like a little,
There we go.
yeah. So that's like a little tea kettle, near the front door with some really beautiful little yellow blooms in there. Hence the word choice.
Bloom. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's see if there's one that I like here.
I was playing with some photo
This
editing.
is a
just in
classic.
general.
This wasn't obviously this trip, but you may remember I stole this to make a painting out of, and
Yeah.
she did that one. But there was is there another one that you wanted to share?
I'm gonna have to back up because I was doing a lot of photo editing today, so our feed is kind of filled with a lot of stuff. We did go for a really cool waterfall hike yesterday.
Oh, I like this one.
Oh
This one was
yeah,
pretty
this
cool.
is something in the house too.
Did you filter that, or is that
No,
just the
that's
reflection?
just the way the metal is.
So a little Bigfoot action, which I'm wearing.
Oh, yeah,
My
hide and
Bigfoot
seek.
hide and seek champion shirt here. Thought that was appropriate. And then the other one I loved, I liked this one.
Yeah.
This is the rug, one of the rugs, and just the way Kim got down on the floor, she was literally laying down.
No, I wasn't.
I'm gonna tell this story. I wasn't anywhere around this, but like she
not
was
true.
army crawling through the space,
No.
basically getting photos. Actually, what really happened is her phone fell
Oh.
and hit the ground,
See, Jennifer knows.
and then
It's
it hit the
upside down.
side button, and just that's
what am I gonna do with this
accidental.
thing?
Just turned
No,
out. It's
it
awesome.
wasn't at all. It totally. It does look like
Interestingly.
pixie sticks,
Interestingly,
Martha.
yeah.
I love that kind of rug, I tell you. So I had fun, and I even thought yesterday or the day before I was talking about, wouldn't it be kind of fun to have a wonder hunt course to teach others how to wonder hunt their property, so that you could take like really cool shots of the things you love in your own house that you picked out. And then you could make those into printed canvases. I mean, obviously Walgreens and Shutterfly, all these companies have all these options to put your stuff on these days. But this house is kind of filled with different photos from their life. So it was kind of a reminder to me of like, what, that'd be kind of fun to set up a little course for wonder hunting your world, maybe, or something.
Yeah, I like that.
So we'll see.
Question: how do you like your pizza? I missed that. It's something about what
Jane,
toppings.
was it?
I think it was Jane. It's went by too fast, but I think it was what we went on our pizza. I am a sausage and mushroom guy. I think you would say the same, right?
Yeah.
We get
I'm
pretty plain.
We're pretty we usually like thin crust, but Chicago style is going to be amazing any day. And we're big stuffed crust people. When you say the more cheese, the better.
Yep, like a good margarita with the fresh mozz and
yeah.
basil, and yeah.
Yep.
Okay, what other questions?
Thank you
we
for
have?
the feedback on that idea, you guys, about wonder hunting your world. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it'll turn into something.
Yeah. So one thing that's kind of exciting is that even though we are gone, our studio project has continued, and we've been getting photos from Jenna and the kids of the progress that's being made. The roof is on, the skylights are in, almost all of the windows are in. It's Tyvek'd, the wrap on
It's happening.
And when we come home, a couple days after we come home, it'll be about time to rip down the wall to our interior and break the whole thing up. So on that note, Mary asked, is there going to be anything special about the windows which are going in the new construction? And no, other than there are a lot of them, and they are that was the goal, was to have as many windows as possible to let the light in and to make me feel like I'm in nature. So,
and functionally, as an art studio, you had said like ideally you almost wanted kind of like a greenhouse.
yeah, it's
to make it imitate being in the most natural light as possible.
yeah, that's the goal. And according to the experts, having east or north light is the ideal for an artist studio. So I have a little bit of both of those, and some of the windows will open up kind of like sails, so it'll catch the breeze coming off the lake. So I wanted to do that. I specifically wanted to have windows that open like this versus the up and down, so that there were no sight lines in the way, which currently our windows do have that.
Yes.
So I wanted to be able to have them as little obstruction as possible. So, and then she asked, will you be offering studio tours again after the new space is completed? And
we did
Mary
that
was
in the other
actually
space,
there
right?
at the other space.
We
I
did.
don't have any plans for that. Who never say never? Who knows?
Yeah. We're not planning on having another summit in Sheboygan anytime soon. So that could also be part of that.
Yeah,
It could
but
be kind of tied
no,
to that.
no current plans, although you can rest assured that we will give you a full video tour when it is all done, and I'm going to hire Kim to wonder hunt the studio to give you the little
You're going to
little
hire
details.
me?
Yeah, I'm just going to say do that.
Exactly. That's how I get paid around here, guys.
All right, what else we got? Tyler. Hello, Tyler. I think Tyler was watching before, so I'm not
Yes.
sure if he's still here.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Thank you, Tyler. Hope you two have an amazing time. If you could go to any fictional world for your 23rd anniversary next year, where would you go and how would you spend it? Also, bonus question, if you did escape Adulthood Live at this fictional world, who would you have on as a special guest?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Oh, Rich, no summits in Sheboygan anytime soon. I know. But we're really excited about all the new locations.
Yep.
So, by the way, can I get you to hold this for a little bit?
Yeah.
My hand is like falling off.
The problem is my hand covers
We're
the
going to get a little
camera.
closer to you.
Yeah.
Guys. Oh!
Okay.
Sorry, guys. We forgot our tripod this time.
Okay. Noted, Martha. I'll answer that. My favorite Funko Pop in a little
good
bit.
one. All right.
Fictional location.
Mine was tied with Hogwarts and Narnia. Just
Interesting.
two, books that we read as a family. Those are pretty fun. I also was thinking of like the place Chew and Swallow.
The town of Chew and Swallow.
Yeah.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Just for certain moments, I kind of really want to experience like big food coming at me.
Big food. Yeah. Okay. Boy, I don't know. I keep thinking Star Wars, that I should answer Star Wars, but I can't think of a
like I
specific
should.
place. Yeah. Hogwarts would be good.
Diagon Alley.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to interview Snape. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know about the world, but it would be, I was thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy. It would be cool to interview Star-Lord because I think that would be
That'd be entertaining.
hilarious.
Right?
Now that I think about it, I'm like, what Avenger would be the most fun to interview? I don't know.
That's a good question.
No, it's a
If
good,
we did
it's
Hogwarts, you could have like Dobby or something. That would be
Dobby,
He'd
yeah.
be fun for an interview, right?
I think it would be cool to interview Hagrid about all of
Yes.
his different creatures and whatnot, and because that goes back to the couple weeks ago, the show about Passion, the Shark Lady.
Yeah.
We talked about how to me how intoxicating it is to be around people who are passionate about things. So Hagrid would fit that in terms of talking about his strange exotic creatures and beasts as if they're little baby pets, and I think that would be pretty cool. So.
Rich, totally agree. Guardians of the Galaxy, super good soundtrack. We actually have it on vinyl, which is super fun, and the kids love it as well. By the way, hello kids. If you guys are on and have a question for mom and dad, let us know.
Yeah.
You're like, we don't. We
Favorite
don't at all.
favorite Funko Pop. Martha asked that earlier. Might be is one of those things like my most recent. I got a Vincent Van Gogh Funko Pop that I love, and I got a little mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from the new Ghostbusters. He's like in a cappuccino, and I like that one. And those might be my two favorite because they're the most recent that I can think of.
And if you haven't seen that movie, would you recommend it?
Of course, yes.
Yes.
And also, Super Grover is up there as one of my favorite ones as well. Question from Anonymous, who is our favorite kid? Obviously, it's...
Yeah, right? I know.
just
It's so
kinda
obvious.
Skipped out a little
Yeah.
bit. Skipped out. Okay. Okay, Doreen had a great question. Brush a sign. What advice do you have for newlyweds? That is a great question, and we were actually
Very timely.
thinking about that earlier, of what we would say. And so one thing that came to mind for me was actually two things. One thing I see a lot of people who just get married is they are very concerned about starting a family and making sure everything is perfect, that they have the timing right, that they have all the stuff ready. And sometimes I feel like they push it off later, because the reality is never right timing, and you figure it out. And I think I remember hearing people talk about, like, one of their biggest regrets in life is not having more kids or having them sooner. And so that's just a thing I think I see a lot in younger people, is they're waiting to get their stuff together. And the reality is you never have it. You're never prepared. You're never fully ready, and that's okay. And then the other thing I would say is one of the biggest problems in marriages is money. Money breaks up a lot of relationships. And so I think getting on the same page, going through some sort of class like the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University or something like that. I mean, the financial decisions that you make early on, getting on the same page is so important. I think that was the thing that we were fortunate enough. We were raised similarly in similar families that had similar views, that gave us a head start. But anything you can do, because those values really matter in terms of, and it's not something that really gets taught very well in school, high school or college. So doing something like that is a big recommendation I would have. How about you, Kim?
Yeah, I definitely think mine is connected to communication. So early on in our relationship, even before we were married, we started taking walks together around the neighborhood that I grew up in. And we would walk and talk and get to know one another. And this just carried right into our early marriage years around Madison. We didn't have any money forever, and we would just walk. That was our entertainment. So whatever it is that you guys like to do together, I think, find something you like to do together where you can communicate, whether it's kayaking or walking or driving or, whatever it is, find that common activity, that kind of common happy place.
Going to a coffee shop or
right.
having wine at the end of the day to kind of unpack your day, whatever it is.
It's not watching a movie.
Right.
It's not going to movies, or, it has to be something that you can communicate. I think giving yourself that time to do that thing whenever, as much as you can, is helpful, because the more you're on the same page, the more everything is going to get easier. And the last idea I had has to do with kind of more of a spiritual tip. And this is personal to me, but I think many of you might be able to relate to this. And I tell the kids this all the time. I'm like, we actually encourage our kids to pray for their future spouses. That's a advice that my mom gave me and my dad when I was a kid. So I've been praying for Jason since I was like 5 years old, and that's cool. And I find that kind of a meaningful opportunity, knowing that not everyone chooses to get married, and that's not part of their journey, right? But if it is, that's kind of how we have the kids, encourage the kids that if it is, part of my plan, or part of the plan that I will be married, that, that those prayers are lifted up towards their spouse. And so along those same lines, I always encourage them that it's very important that your spouse doesn't make you their God. Like, they need to have a relationship with God that's connected to their own heart, and that cannot be you. So it's very important that they love God more than you. And that's something my parents taught us, or taught me, and I think your parents taught you that as well, in the sense that whenever a relationship when you're treating the other human like they are responsible for your happiness, and they are the one that is responsible for all of that, just instead of God, basically, you're going to have problems.
Puts too much pressure on the other person. It is a false expectation. It creates a lot of strain. I know that, that's a big one. I think that's a good point about that, because it is a thing where people try to fill that hole with a human that
is
flawed
and imperfect.
You know,
right.
I can tell you how flawed Kim is. And if I were to try to make her God, I'd be sorely disappointed.
Amen to that.
Real talk, guys. Real talk.
Amen to that. So I saw, Helen, I saw your little comment there that you prayed for your future spouse, and it sure looks like your prayers were answered, as you said. So it's pretty cool, you guys. I mean, I know that's personal to us. Everybody's got their spirituality and how that connects for them. I'm just sharing where we're coming from. And I think it is definitely, Stephen, Kim Plot. Yes.
Hashtag Kim, Team Jason, Team Kim.
Hashtag Kim Plot. So any other questions that we had on the list for tonight?
I think we got all the ones that I had. Let's see here.
Let's see. Some of the longer comments are getting cut off, so I apologize,
got
guys.
to hear that. Great advice. Thank you.
Oh, that's cool. You got the comments popping up on your phone. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's a little easier. They kind of go by really quickly because it only shows us 2 lines at a time. Yeah. I know.
Brenda says how they treat their parents, how their parents treat them, and how parents treat each other all can tell you a lot. Yeah.
Amen.
I think that's one of my most important things as a dad is to treat their mom right. And I think my dad did that really well, and both my parents did. And so it's that old line of you learn more from what you do than what you say. And
yes.
So that's important. So
should we give them a quick more tour of this beautiful lake? You can kind of see. So yesterday we took a ride on, or 2 days ago, the
I think Rich asked earlier about kayaks. If we did kayaks.
Yes,
and,
good question.
We did not. But you can tell them what we did instead.
Yes, so you can kind of see there's a pedal boat there and a canoe. We opted for the pedal boat. I'm not sure why we did, but it was fun. We did go kind of all the way across.
We're gonna do the canoe, but the canoe, one of the backs on the seats got broken off, and I didn't want to fight her for it.
Yes, the red chairs again with the whimsy, right, Kara? And then you can kind of see there's a nice porch. There's a hot tub up there, without making it really dizzy. There's some nice outdoor lights and things like that. So it's been a nice little fit for us. And of course, beautiful Washington did not disappoint because there's something about the air here. It's like a spa treatment, right? It's just really cool and crisp.
Filtered, clean air. It's good.
Yes.
Trying to think if there's any other highlights. We weren't in Seattle for very long. And we had been there before, so we didn't feel like we had to check everything out. We did have a really good dinner.
Oh, yes.
Asiago's, I think it was called. Not Asiago, but it was something else similar to that, and that was really good.
Yes. Oops, let me see if I can read that one. I did, but doesn't mean... Sorry, guys. Well, this has been great. This is show number 96. Thanks for tuning in for this little unplugged edition. I hope we haven't been too choppy with our reception here, but we are definitely excited as we move closer to a big show coming up, show number 99. That's going to be one that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, we got some big plans, and there's going to be some big changes coming to the show. So I look for you to tune in and hear about that. We've been doing a little bit of talking on that. Just to address something Stephen said about, he would kindly said, I'm sure there are people in Washington who would like to see you. And that was actually, we have talked about this before, but the idea of setting up rules, personal policies. And sometimes I love this kind of technique of setting up personal policies to make your life better, because people have a hard time arguing against policies. So for instance, I heard that someone said, if someone wants to borrow money from you, you could say, oh, I have a personal policy that I never loan money to friends. And then it's kind of like, oh, okay. Or I have a personal policy that I never take a ride home from someone who was drinking, even one drink. Like, and it's kind of a nice way to prevent awkwardness of, you know, that sort of thing. It's like, well, it's a personal policy. And so a few years ago, we had decided to have a personal policy that when we go on a personal trip, whether it's just Kim and I or our family, that it's family time. And because we've gotten to a point now where there are lots of people all around the country, which is amazing, who would love to see us and live in different areas. And rather than disappoint some people by not being able to see them, or by dominating our entire trip by seeing all the people who would want to see us, we've made a personal policy of that when we go on a personal trip, it is personal time and it is personal family only. So it's a way to be able to honor that for our relationship or with our kids or whatever. So, and we got burned on that in the past a little bit. And it was nice, but it just like, it's like, oh, I spent the whole time doing stuff with other people and we didn't get a chance to do the whole reason we came on this trip. So just a little FYI. And again, that's maybe a good, ties into that newlywed thing too, and couple advice and basically personal advice. Is there something that you want to change or there's some awkwardness about how you deal with it, is make it a personal policy because people will not argue with
something
it. Something
official about those personal policies, guys.
Yep.
But yes.
Let's just make sure if there's anything else that's...
I love Martha's idea about doing a Let's Draw and sending it in for our anniversary. We would love that. So please do that. I saw Jenna put up the email address there. That would be awesome. And Jennifer asked a couple times, what's the first word that comes to your mind? It's like an introvert's nightmare.
Crab. Crab. That would be the one sort of disappointment is I hoped to have a lot of crab when I was here, and it
just didn't happen.
Didn't work out. The different restaurants we went to didn't have it, or we did have crab artichoke dip last night.
Yeah, that was good. Yes.
That's the first word that comes to my mind.
Yes.
What about you?
Mine.
Lamp.
Right. I do terrible at these things.
iPhone.
Jennifer. I know. Yeah.
Tree.
Lake. Yeah. I probably would say home because we're heading home soon. And we're excited.
Yep.
See the kiddos, see Jenna, and just...
We're excited to see 2 of the 3 kids.
They know which ones they are. Well, it's been great, you guys. Thanks for joining us for this little Unplugged edition, number 96, Escape Adulthood Live. Keep shining. We need your light. And I know you guys won't disappoint. Keep bringing the light.
Yep, we'll be back with you next Wednesday at the same time on hopefully our regular studio. We'll have some more updates on the renovation and some other fun shenanigans along the way. But that is it for this show, Adultitis Fighters.
Shine on, spread whimsy, and keep being awesome.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.